We will discuss the factors that affect both exports and imports, since these factors are similar, and that's why we combine them in one comparison here. So the first factor that affects exports is foreign income. What do you mean by foreign income? This is the income of our neighboring countries. So if our neighboring countries' income increased, it means that they would like to consume more. Consequently, they will import more and they will import from us. Therefore, our exports will increase. This means that we have a positive relationship between foreign income and our exports. They move in the same direction. If foreign income or neighboring countries' income increased, our exports will increase. If foreign income decreases, our exports will drop. For imports, it's our domestic income. So what will happen if our domestic income increases? It means that people would like to consume more. This means that they need to import more. So this means that we will have a positive relationship between our domestic income and imports. If domestic income increases, imports will increase. If domestic income decreases, import will decrease because they have a positive relationship, which means they move in the same direction. The second factor is exchange rate, and it's the same for both exports and imports. So when we talk about exchange rate, we have two types. Either the value of exchange rate goes up, which we call it currency appreciation. So if the value of domestic currency goes up, it appreciates. What does it mean? This means that every time we talk about exchange rate, we're talking about two currencies, my domestic currency and foreign currency. Therefore, we need to compare between our domestic prices and foreign prices. Therefore, if our domestic currency appreciates, it means that its value becomes higher, it has a higher exchange rate. This means that our domestic goods will be relatively more expensive. Therefore, this will affect negatively our exports, so our exports will decrease. So this means that we have a negative relationship between higher currency value, which we call it appreciation, and lower export, which means they move in opposite direction. What about foreign goods? If domestic currency becomes higher in value, it appreciates, it means that our domestic prices will be relatively more expensive. Consequently, our foreign goods will be relatively cheaper. So if foreign goods are relatively cheaper, this will motivate us to import more. Therefore, it will have a positive impact on imports. Therefore, we'll have a positive relationship between higher currency value, which we call it appreciation, and imports. This means that they move in the same direction. What about the other scenario? If the value of the currency goes down, which we call it depreciation. So if our domestic currency value goes down, it depreciates, it means that our domestic goods will be relatively cheaper. Therefore, we can export more, so exports will increase. This means that we will have a positive relationship between lower currency value, which is called depreciation, and higher exports. Since our domestic currency depreciated, it had a lower value, it reduced our domestic prices, therefore foreign prices will be relatively more expensive. Consequently, foreign goods will be more expensive, therefore it will impact negatively our imports, so our imports will drop. And this means that we will have a positive relationship between lower currency value and imports. Every time the currency depreciates, import will depreciate. It means that it will move in the same direction. Therefore, as a general rule, we can conclude that if the value of the currency goes up, exports will go down. It means that we have a negative relationship. It means that they move in opposite direction. Value of the currency goes up, exports goes down. Value of the currency goes down, exports will go up. And when we talk about imports, if the value of the currency goes up, imports will increase. It means that we have a positive relationship. They move in the same direction. If the value of the currency goes up, import will go up. If the value of the currency goes down, imports will go down. The third factor that affects both exports and imports is relative interest rate. And when we talk about relative interest rates, it refers to our domestic interest rate minus foreign interest rate. So what will happen if our domestic interest rate is bigger than foreign interest rate? This means that we will have higher cash inflow. It means that foreigners would prefer to come and deposit their money into our country in order to benefit from higher interest rate. So since we will have more cash inflow, it means that the value of our currency will go up, which is called appreciation. Therefore, if the value of the currency goes up, what will be the impact on export? exports will decrease. So this means that, as a general rule, we will have a negative relationship between higher relative real interest rate and exports. They move in opposite direction. If real interest rate goes up, exports will drop. If real relative interest rate goes down, exports will go up. What about imports? If domestic currency appreciates, it means that our imports will be higher. Therefore, we could say that, as a general rule, there is a positive relationship between relative interest rate and imports. If relative interest rate goes up, imports will go up. If relative interest rate goes down, import will go down.